A little trick that I've found on setting the system up in the MELCloud, the air source heat pump Mitsubishi Ecodan system. So here we are in the app, and I'm sure you're all sort of pretty familiar with what this looks like now. I live in a bungalow, so yes, the bungalow is there. As you can see on that second bar down, I then tap the icon there with a question mark in it, and that brings up the screen that we see here. Now the next thing to do is in the top right hand corner, tap on the Actions button, and from there you've got this menu, and we're going to tap on the timer, the third one down. Okay, so now we get into the important stuff. At the top of the screen here, you've got timer enabled, yes or no. Well, obviously we want yes. Then we have season. Well, I've got it set to spring at the moment, and if I tap on the little drop down arrow there, you can see I can change between spring, summer, autumn and winter. So we'll leave it on spring, and it says spring then in the name of the title, which you can configure yourself to change. If you don't want to call it spring, you can call it whatever you want to. On the third bar down, you have the start date. Well, I've set it to the 1st of March. And again, if you tap on that little icon towards the right hand side there, it brings up this little screen where you can dial in the date. So on the left hand side here, you've got the number of the date, which is the 1st, and on the right hand side you've got the 3rd, which is March. At the bottom you click set date. So that's in there now. Right. You can add as many seasons as you want. If you look on the next two bars down, you've got remove season and add season. But I think spring, summer, autumn and winter are enough for now. Okay, so we move down the screen and we see this sort of table of contents. And as you can see, at 7 o'clock I've got it set for 18 degrees C. And for 1800 hours I've got it set for 21 degrees C, and for 2300 hours I've got it set to 17 degrees C, and that is for all the 7 days of the week. If you don't see the days, at the right hand side there, just above all the dates, the days, it says show days. If you tap, you can see they come up with a little checkbox on them. Okay, so when you're setting your time and your temperature, and I'll just click on the 7 o'clock one on Sunday to demonstrate to you, you get this screen. Now at the top of the screen you get to set the time of day, so that's you set at 7 o'clock, and again you click on the little icon to the right hand side there and you get this drop down menu where you can set the hours and the minutes, and then at the bottom set time. Underneath that, the days of the week. I'll just uncheck them and I'll recheck them again. And if I didn't want Wednesday, I'd leave Wednesday open, but I want 7 days. And then settings to apply, the third line down, choose settings. You tap on that, and that takes you to this screen, which you've probably seen before, but this has got an added function on it. But anyway, we come down to the set temperature under the house symbol, and we can see our temperature is set for 18 degrees C, and slide it left to the right to change it. Now down at the bottom, this is where we've got this added option. You've got the room, flow and curve, and depending on which you want, I've just tapped curve, flow, and I'll just tap curve again because I find curve to be the most efficient. So to come out of that, we go down to the bottom left hand corner and it says back, and we'll just tap that. Okay, so that's our setting for 7 o'clock in the morning. So we'll click on continue, which is on, you've got those 3 buttons below choose settings. Cancel, delete and continue. On the right hand side we'll click continue. And it takes us back to our matrix of times and temperatures again. We'll just click on the one at 1800 hours again, and like we had before, at the top there you've got your time. Underneath it you've got the days of the week. Under that you've got your choose settings. Now this is quite important that when you're choosing that setting, obviously we wanted it at 21 degrees there under the house symbol, but just make sure that you've got the correct setting at the bottom here under Unix settings, whether you want room, flow or curve, because it will go to the default. I had an issue where it just seemed to be jumping to room to flow at night, and I didn't understand why, and this is the reason. I hadn't got this curve checked, so you must check that every time. So go back to the back button, which is at the bottom left hand corner again, and we'll go for continue, and again you just repeat the operation again. I won't bother to go through it again, but I mean you're on 2300 hours. So once you've done all of that, right at the bottom of the screen you hit the next bar. Now on this screen you can see your name of your property, in which case mine's a bungalow, so we'll just tap on that to make sure that it knows where we are. Then you've got the two buttons underneath, back and submit. We hit submit, then that's it, that is in. Now you have to repeat this operation, and I'll just demonstrate quite quickly. We're in the bungalow, we'll go on the question mark icon, we'll go onto the actions icon, and we'll go back to our timer icon, and we'll just change the second bar down which says spring. Let's go for winter. Now I've titled it winter. As you can see in the name, on the start date I've got the 1st of November, whenever you want winter to start. If you want to add another event, just tap on the plus add event, and that'll allow you to add another event over and above the ones that I've already got there. So again, we'll just check in on these. We're in winter. I'll click on the 7 o'clock in the morning. As we can see at the top there, it says 7 o'clock. We've got the days of the week all checked. Choose settings. Again, on this screen here, under the house icon, I've got it set for 18 degrees. And at the bottom, they're all important. Select which one of these that you want, room, flow or curve, and then go back on the back button. Continue. That takes you back to your matrix of temperature and time settings, and once you're happy with all of those, you click on next, and then you click on your property bar, which is important because if you don't click that it won't record the settings. So tap that, that's checked, then underneath submit. That's it, that's gone over to the unit in the airing cupboard now, and that's all you need to do. You just have to make sure that you follow that sequence for each season, because if you miss something out and you don't check that curve, if you've left it on flow or you've left it on room, it'll jump to that back to that other setting on the next time event. Just a last word about the room, flow and the curve options at the bottom of that screen that we looked at. In room, your room temperature controller is controlling the room temperature, and the app is controlling the times. The actual flow temperature in the system will be determined by the system itself, and it'll make up its own mind on how hot the water needs to be. I find this to be not that efficient. So the next one is flow. If you hit the flow, then you get an option to set the flow temperature. And for argument's sake, if you set it to 40 degrees, then the flow temperature will always be 40 degrees. Third option, which is curve. Now it's important that the curve graph is set correctly in your controller in your airing cupboard, so that dependent on the outside air temperature will determine the flow temperature. And obviously with that one set, this is the most efficient mode that you can get, because on a mild day, on a mild morning, you don't want the heat pump running up to its maximum temperature just to bring the temperature up to up the temperature in your house, a more gentler amount of heat could be applied, saving money. I like saving money. But equally, you know, I mean, if the temperature drops, like here we are, this is the 1st of April, it should be quite mild, it's spring, but they're telling us the temperature is going to drop to -4 maybe tonight. Well, my curve will know that it's very cold outside, and it'll boost up the flow temperature to compensate for that. Okay, so I hope this has been of some use to you, and if I find any more tricks and tips, I'll post them again on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye.